Hello, Exip here, bringing you an Iron Maiden Mythic guide for Prot Warriors. So it's more of a tips and tricks guide and what I could do better as a Prot Warrior. So I more or less assume that you're familiar with the fight, but nevertheless you should, even if you don't know the fight, you can get something out of it. So you can see I drag Sorka to the green marker with my designated warlock, so that this blade dash debuff gets applied to him. I go back into the middle, and here it is important that you stand in the blood ritual, because it resets your blade dash debuff. And the advantage of this is that you don't take 180% more damage the next time you get blade dash, because you can only have one debuff at a time. See, now I have blade dash debuff, took the blood ritual, and now I have the blood ritual debuff, so you never take the 180% more damage. Yeah, so you could also see that I always stand with my warlock close together with the boss, so the traveling distance of these whirlwinds is minimized. I have also seen other guides where they travel basically horizontally, but the traveling distance is much higher and it's not as easy to predict as with this method I found. Yeah, and this is just your usual bomb phase. I mean, it's not really special. Incoming damage here is really low, so you can, I mean, as you can see, I have quite a bit of rage wasted here. So now I'm sitting at 120, I'm basically doing nothing because I'm focusing on the bombs. It is important that you focus on the bombs, but you can also try to maximize either your survivability with casting more shield barriers, or probably here I could do more heroic strikes, because the damage is really low. The other group is doing the Marok boat phase, and they're doing this trick with standing on these boxes so that you don't have to move. But as a Prot Warrior, you're probably never going to do the boat phase because you're not self-sustain, and you don't have a self-sustaining heal, so you couldn't do it without a healer, so you're not a good choice for the boat. You always want to stay here down with the bombs, so to say. So now the group is back. I held on to my Ravager so that I can hit all 3 targets, but I think it's not worth it. You should use it whenever it is off cooldown. That would be probably better for maximizing damage. And then it basically is rinse and repeat. In this second phase you have a bit less space with the whirlwinds, because you get more of them. But we just start to put them down on the side, as you can see in a second. You can also see that I have Marok as focus. So the reason for that is that I can focus charge him. And I also use Glyph of Long Charge, so that Marok is basically never out of range. And I think this is an important part, because I can show you another clip here what happened to me. If you stay too long on your whirling spot, basically you can get wrecked, as you can see here. Bam. So what happened here is that I stayed too long. I tried to squeeze in another shield slam. I also don't use a focus macro, and basically stayed too long and got wrecked by whirling blade dash combo. So I think it's important that you use such a focus charge macro, and try to use it whenever blade dash is out. So the second boat phase already starts here, and you have your bomb phase basically starting again. And maybe a disclaimer here, this fight is maybe mechanically not really different, but it is really draining mentally. It's a really long, boring fight. You're doing this bomb phase over and over again, and it can put your raid quite on tilt. If something happens on the boat and it is out of your hand, and you know how it goes. There's motivation goes down because you're wiping because of stupid stuff. So it's really important to focus in these bomb phases, and yeah, just don't die. Damage is not that important. Just survive until the last phase. Maybe another word on cooldown usage, defensive cooldowns. So when you start a fight, you can basically use them as aggressive as possible. I mean, you can cycle through shield wall, last stand, and it will be ready for the second boat phase. And after that, it's just important that you have everything up on the last phase. So we do a 3 boat phase, and they're getting quite low, and the raid has stopped the damage, so we can get the 3rd boat. And since it is our first kill, I'm not really sure here if I should use my cooldowns or not, but in hindsight I would say it was not needed, so it was probably better to save them. But there's maybe a bit of optimizing needed. So you could probably squeeze in another shield wall and another last stand, just to mitigate the damage a bit, and have everything ready on the last phase, which will start in a second. Since it is a bit a slower phase, I can also show you my talents. So quite standard build here. Vigilance is quite nice for when your tank goes up on the second boat. You have to taunt twice in a row, so you can just use it on him and then rapidly taunt twice. Yeah, as I mentioned, Glyph of Long Charge for, basically that you don't have to delay your stay out there on the whirling spot. And then I found Bloodbath, more of a damage increase compared to Bladestorm. And then maybe it's worth unyielding strikes, but I had better experience with sudden death. And this is the most important part of the fight, Iron Will. As soon as Garan jumps to his boat, you will start burning down the boss and cycle through all your defensive cooldowns that you saved up. It's not really important in what order, but it's just important that everything is up. Here I took damage from the bombs like a champ, but overall it went really smooth since everyone was alive, and that's basically a free win. But keep in mind, everyone is on edge in this phase. Like, you waited so long through the grind of these bombs phases, like it's 8 minutes of focusing, not fucking up these bombs, and then everything goes crazy in the last phase. Just, it's a bit tricky to manage all the defensive cooldowns and then also dodging bombs, but if everyone is alive, you have a really good chance of killing this boss. So here I'm getting a bit nervous taking another bomb. Luckily I survived it. And then Sorka is dead, and here you just dodge fire and kill the turrets and kill the boss. Pretty easy. Also for the last phase, what you probably noticed that I switched boss with my other tank. He had Marak the whole time, I had Sorka, and then obviously for the last phase we switch. And once Marak is dead, you can also switch back and forth depending on who has cooldowns up, because Sorka also hits quite hard in the last phase, so your other tank should also cycle through all his cooldowns, so the healers can focus on you on the last phase and less on the other tank. Yeah, that's it. I probably couldn't cover everything, not everything, so if you're having questions or want to know something specifically, you can leave a comment. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.